its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyeama, says that negotiations are ongoing with some countries on the repatriation of funds stolen and stashed abroad by some Nigerians. Now, he disclosed that the Swiss government had already repatriated over $700 million of stolen funds from the late military head of state, General Sani Abacha, and of course is in discussions to repatriate another $300 million. Now, the minister also said that the government was talking to Switzerland, the United Kingdom, the United States, among other foreign governments around the world, to refine the process in which looted funds could be recovered. Nigeria, of course, has been dogged by graft since independence in 1960, and officials have routinely looted state coffers in Africa's biggest oil producer. Now, to give us an update on the Buhari government's efforts to recover stolen funds, we're joined by Sophia Dango in Abuja. Sophia, welcome to the show. Now, according to the minister today, $700 million has been recovered from Sani Abacha's family. About $300 million will be repatriated soon. Now, how much money has been recovered so far? And of course, from where is this money being recovered from?
Well, Uche, as you did mention, the Foreign Affairs Minister today, Geoffrey Onyeama, really reiterating that the $300 million that is expected from the Sani Abacha days repatriated to Nigeria is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to recovering assets or stolen money that was laundered to overseas accounts. The other account in question is, if you recall, back in 2014, the United States came out openly and said that they would freeze over $500 million that was recovered in overseas accounts belonging to Sani Abacha, that he had left behind unaccounted for. And of course, there have also been investigations into accounts in the UK and further on. These three accounts that we know of are part of a $1 billion, some even claim $2 billion collective amount of money that was taken allegedly by the Abacha family in the hope that it would be recovered. It's interesting to also note that President Muhammad Buhari is leaving no stone unturned in reaching back way into history. As you know, Sani Abacha ruled this country between 1993 and 1998, up until his death. So it's not necessarily about what is being taken now, but what has not been claimed in the past. Uche?
Now, Sophia, actually, President Buhari last year revealed that they found proof that proceeds from past crude oil sales were diverted to personal accounts. Now, he implicated former Minister of Petroleum Alison Madueke. Others were implicated as well. Has there been any update, of course, on the recovery of those funds?
Well, let's begin with President Muhammad Buhari changing his cabinet, naming a new cabinet, and saying that in terms of the petroleum resource, he would rather be in charge, naming himself as a petroleum minister, and also shuffling the board and taking a closer look at the petroleum ministry, the resource, because as you know, it is the #1 foreign exchange earner for Nigeria, almost 90% as it seems. So it takes, a really strong account into the petroleum ministry in terms of the revenues that have been received from there. And that is really where the shakeup for the petroleum ministry came from. And it's the other thing that we need to look at is, not necessarily the personality of Alison Madueke, although she was petroleum minister during the time of Nigeria's high days of selling crude oil, but it's really what did she leave behind. She asserts that she had absolutely nothing to do with laundering illegal funds outside of what she was expected to do. And of course, the investigation concerning her as petroleum minister has really come to a halt based on her state of health. As you know, she's battling cancer. And of course, it takes a much longer period when you have those extenuating circumstances. But back to the fight against anti-corruption, against corruption with this anti-corruption campaign by President Muhammad Buhari. Of course, it is these areas that bring large revenues to the country that really are being looked at, and the leadership with which, in the past, over this large sums of money, was their gross mismanagement, and who is accountable for that level of gross mismanagement. Uche?
Well, Sophia, thank you so much for those insights. Of course, Sophia Dango joining us from Abuja.